everyone. So for those who don't know me, my name is Hallie. I know I have a lot of followers on Instagram and friends on Facebook who don't know me in real life, only know me through the military or through Arbonne. But yes, my name is Hallie. It is not Haley. This is my 6-month-old daughter, Finley, and my husband is in the Army. So I'm going to go ahead and answer these questions that everyone left for me on Instagram and Snapchat and do this little Q&A video about our lives. So the first question is, where are you from? So if you met me after I got married, I probably told you that I am from St. Louis, Missouri, but that's not totally right. I am from a small town in Missouri, though, called Ellsbury. The next question is, how many times have you moved? Quite a few in the last couple of years. I did move out of my parents' house to move into a little apartment that they had in their machine shed, and then I moved out of that and I moved into a hotel in Kansas for about a month. Moved out of that, went back into the apartment in my parents' barn, moved back to Kansas to be in my own house, and then I moved from there to now our own house here in Tennessee. The next one says, since you have moved away, do you still talk to anyone from high school? So when I was in high school, I did get engaged my senior year. I had a lot of people who were not supportive of me and were very mean to me about it, saying I was going to get divorced in 6 months. Saying I was being stupid for it. So I don't talk to a lot of people from high school anymore. I just cut that negativity out of my life. I only talk to maybe 5 every once in a blue moon. I do talk to my one best friend, Julia, almost every single day. And then my other two good friends from high school, I talk to them very often too. The next one is, how did you and Clayton meet? We met at a party. I know, very typical. And then when and how did Clayton propose? It was March of my senior year. I was 17 years old and I was down visiting him in Lawton, Oklahoma. And it was just me and him. It was in a hotel room. It was super cute and sweet. It says, how long have you been married? This next year will be 3 years for us to be married. So I have the next section here. These are all questions that I got asked about pregnancy, motherhood, and breastfeeding. So this is from Clayton's friend, John. He met Clayton through the Army. It says, when will I get to meet that cute little baby? Well, John, if you come here to visit us, or we go visit you, or we just run into each other sometime, that's when you'll get to meet her. Hopefully that is soon, though, because we do miss you. But John didn't get to meet Finley because we moved away from Kansas right after she was born, and we didn't have time to hang out or anything. The next one says, this is funny. I got asked this multiple times, but this was like the best wording, so I just chose this one. It says, tell your whole giving birth story because I heard you died. Well, I didn't die. I'm right here. But I thought that was super funny. It was not a fun experience, though, but that is a whole story that I will have to do in another video if you all want me to, because it was not a good experience. The next one says, would you get an epidural again? So if I do that other video all about my labor and delivery experience, I will talk about what happened with my epidural. But at this point, I cannot say whether I would get one or not. I guess I'm just going to decide when the time comes because I'm not sure. This one says, how did you find out you were pregnant? So I didn't think I was ovulating because I was taking ovulation tests and everything. They were coming back negative. I wasn't getting pregnant yet, and it just hadn't happened, and I was taking pregnancy tests, all coming back negative, so everything was negative. So I was about to make a doctor's appointment, and I was like, you know what, I just better make sure that I'm not pregnant before I go in there and look like a dummy. So I took another pregnancy test 2 weeks after the negative one, and before I was even done peeing, that thing was glowing. It was like super pregnant, without a doubt, like no questions asked. I was very pregnant. What was your first reaction when you found out you were pregnant, and what was Clayton's? So we both were super shocked because we didn't think that I was, because I had been taking tests and they were coming back negative. My ovulation tests were negative, so I was like, how can I get pregnant if I'm not ovulating? So I don't know how I did, but I did because she's here. But we both were just very, very, very shocked. When do you plan to have another perfect and beautiful child? That's such a sweet question. That is from my friend Ashton. She recently got married as well, and she is so sweet. But we have wanted one since she was born, pretty much because we wanted them really close in age. I really wanted Irish twins, and if you don't know what that is 2 children born in less than a year, so about 11 or 10 months apart. Excuse you. But that didn't happen because, if you didn't know as well, also breastfeeding can lower your chances to get pregnant. It is not a birth control, so do not use that as birth control if you do not want a baby, but it has lowered my chances because I have not had a baby yet. But when Clayton comes home, fingers crossed, I will get pregnant because I really would like another one. The next one is from my friend Corey, and I thought this was super funny and silly. It says, do your nipples hurt? No, my nipples do not hurt. Breastfeeding does not hurt and should not hurt. The next one says, is being a mom hard? I don't think it is hard at all. I think it comes very natural to me. I absolutely love being a mom. I think it is the best thing ever. And that ties into the next one. Says, do you enjoy being a mom? I seriously feel like it is what I was made to do. It is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I would not change it for the world. The next question says, what is your favorite baby product? I have to say my favorite baby product is the Owlet Smart Sock. And if you do not know what that is a little sock monitor that goes on her foot at night, and it will monitor her heart rate and oxygen and her sleep patterns. So I can, it will notify me if her heart rate gets too low or too high, and same with her oxygen. I think it is a very handy tool for any parent to have. This one says, do you breastfeed in public? And the answer to that is yes, I do, but I do not like to because it is so hard. She's very particular about how she wants to eat. She wants to lay on her side and not do anything, me lay down with her, and she just lays there and eats, which is clearly very hard to do because you can't really lay down in public. I have tried to use a cover. She doesn't like that either, so it is very hard to do without just pretty much having my whole boob out for everyone to see. This one says, how much weight did you gain in your pregnancy, and was it hard to lose the weight after? So I was very sick in the beginning. I didn't start gaining weight until I was about 25 weeks pregnant. And in the beginning, I lost around 20 pounds. But after 25 weeks, I gained exactly 20 pounds. And the weight pretty much shed off after I had her. For a lot of people, breastfeeding will help you lose weight. It did for me. I know some people, it doesn't work like that. But that is just how it ended up working out for me. The next section that I have says, this is about weddings. So what would you do differently about your wedding if you could? I would get a different person to make our wedding cake because that was an absolute disaster. We lost our entire cheer to our cake. It was just a horrible time. The next one says, wedding day thoughts and feelings. So if anyone watching this was at my wedding, you know I was a complete mess. I could not stop crying the entire time. I was sobbing. I was so emotional. I was just so happy. I couldn't get over the fact that I was marrying my best friend. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So for me, I was just very emotional and just ugly crying as I was walking down the aisle. I didn't see a single person in the crowd. I literally just was walking down. I only saw Clayton, and I was just ugly crying. This one says wedding tips. So the one tip I can give about having your wedding is to expect something to go wrong, but then do not be upset when it does go wrong. So for me, it was our wedding cake. It was a disaster. I did get upset, so I feel like a hypocrite saying, don't get upset, but I promise you it will be okay. You will most likely laugh on it in a few years anyways. So the last section I have is about our military lifestyle. So this says, how did you feel about Clayton joining the military? I didn't really have a say because I met him only 20 days before he left for basic. I met him. I did not even know he was a person 20 days before he was leaving for basic. But even if I did, I don't think I would have said anything because it wasn't my decision and it's what he wanted to do. So I was going to support him either way. This says, where are you currently stationed? My husband's currently stationed here at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, but we are living in Clarksville, Tennessee. What is the hardest part of military life? Without a doubt, it has to be how much you miss your spouse because they're gone all the time for field problems, JRTC, and NTC, getting deployed, training. They're just always gone. So that has to be the hardest part for sure, is learning to live life without them, which sucks. Is it scary to be alone in your house without your man? I don't think so. I'm not scared at all. I have a very big dog, and he does not like people coming into the house when Clayton is not here. And we do keep our house very protected, and I have full faith that I will be able to protect our home if needed. This person didn't really word this like this. They were also asking me to tell my labor and delivery story, but it says, I heard that military hospitals suck. And I wouldn't say that is true for the most part. Some can, I'm sure. But I will say that the ER kind of does. They're pretty much just going to give you some ibuprofen and send you on your way. And you're going to hope that you don't fall out of your run the next morning at PT from your leg hurting or something. But for pregnancy-wise, I feel like the care is very good. At least at Fort Riley, it was very good care for my pregnancy with Finley. This one says, can you give some tips on handling deployments better? I have 2 tips to give on that. The first one would be to definitely get a hobby, like keep yourself busy for sure. I'm gonna be busy because I have Finley and then I have my job for Arbonne. So I will be pretty busy throughout it. But my other tip that I can give is that you do not have to talk all the time. That was something that was very hard for me to accept on his last deployment because he could talk pretty much all the time if he wanted to, but that we would run out of things to talk about, and we would get mad at each other really easily. We were always very irritable if we were talking 24/7, and you just don't have to talk all the time. It's very hard because you want to talk to them all the time because you don't know if you're going to be able to hear from them tomorrow, but you cannot put your life on hold because they are deployed. You just have to keep up with your everyday thing. Don't stop your life because theirs changed. They did get deployed, but that doesn't mean that your life has to change. So if you go to the store, you don't have to text them while you're shopping or anything. Like, you can just do not carry on a conversation that has been over for 20 minutes already. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, you do not have to talk 24/7 because that put a huge strain on mine and Clayton's relationship on his last deployment. The last 2, the next one is kind of ridiculous. I kind of laughed whenever I read it, but it says, are you rich? And I don't know who thinks that we are, but if you didn't know, the military pay, it kind of sucks. So no, we absolutely are not rich. But the next one after the last question, it says, how can you afford to stay home? So while we are not rich, Clayton and I can afford for me to be a stay-at-home mom with Finley because the Army does pay enough to get us by, and we have a savings and everything, so it is enough, but it's not very good. And Clayton works his butt off, so we are so thankful for that, for him to work so hard to get promoted all the time and everything. And we just cannot even explain how thankful we are for all of his hard work. So that is all of the questions that I have. If there's anything else that you all can think of, leave it in the comments below, and I'll either message you or I can make another video. I guess I could. I don't really have anything else to talk about right now. But thank you for watching. Bye-bye.